Pounding the Meat, we are live. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the channel. I am Vinny Vegas. We are here tonight with two special guests, not just one, two. But before we start the show, as always, I ask you, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you like the content, and hit that notification bell. That way you're alerted when we post new videos. We are all things wrestling here, movies, actors. We talk about it all. But tonight we're going to talk a little pro wrestling, and we're going to talk a little chicken. You heard that right. That's what we're talking about tonight. But first, let me introduce to you my first guest. He is a friend of the guest that we're having on tonight as well, and he's a really, really good buddy of mine. We call him Dav. That's it, Dav. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you the one, the only, Dav.
Yeah.
How are you, Dav?
I'm great, man. I'm excited to be on Pounding the Meat.
You're on Pounding the Meat, man. This is crazy.
I am your special friend. That's true, special.
Or am I the special friend? I don't know what you...
Yeah. Sometimes you are.
Yeah, we are. This is Pounding the Meat, and don't get it twisted. Pounding the Meat was named from the Rocky films when it's actually Pounding the Meat. People get it confused. You know what I'm saying? But that's what it's named after. And Dav, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight and telling your friend to come on and have some fun on the show, man.
Yeah, man. We're about to talk to a guy that I really, it's such a positive guy on Twitter, wrestling, belts, the love of it. I swear we're about to talk to somebody that I really don't think puts his pants on one leg at a time. If there's anybody to do exemption of this guy is it. I'm telling you. That
sounds interesting. I'll tell you that right now. But let's get to it. Let's bring him on, shall we, Dav? What do you think?
Should we bring him on? Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you the undisputed, reigning, defending World Heavyweight BoJangles champion. You heard that right. BoJangles champion. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you Mr. J.Z. Flair. There he is. Look at that.
What's up, fellas? How y'all, brother? Look at him. Rock it the other way.
Yeah.
Look at that shirt. Look at those guns, man. Do I match up? No? Am I there?
Yeah, that peacock.
I don't know, man. Hold on. I'm getting there, man.
A little bit. There
he is.
Hey,
the BoJangles champion.
Got the sound effects ready and everything, brother. Y'all should be enjoying a 4-piece Supreme right now, a Cajun filet, the uva. I mean, there's so many delicate, delightful, delicious choices out there, brother. Y'all ain't enjoying any of it with me on the show.
Yeah, but Jay, he's never eaten at a BoJangles.
I was just going to tell you that, Jay-Z,
he's a Jersey boy.
I have a confession to make. I'm from Jersey, all right?
I got you.
And I just moved to the South here. And, Dav's telling me, you got to interview the BoJangles champion. I was like, BoJangles? What is that? And he tells me, BoJangles is a chicken spot, man. It's this, right? Look at that.
That's it.
Look at this.
That's beautiful.
That's beautiful, right? It's
delicious.
bow time. It's bow time. And this is not a sponsorship, ladies and gentlemen.
I might have to leave right now to go get some. I might have to come back a little bit later.
I really didn't know what this was,
Yeah, when you go, you got to get the 4-piece Supreme dinner. Fries, honey mustard, and sweet tea, baby.
That's the starter pack right there. 100%.
There's another one here. Is this
100%? That's old school. The old school label right there.
All right. And this is the new thing, right?
That's the new label, right? As you can see on the shirt right here, got the
let me see this shirt. Let's get you up here, Jay-Z. We got to show the world.
It's bow time.
He's got more.
There he is.
He's got more BoJangles swag than anybody.
Oh, dude. So usually I would be rocking the suit and everything, but I'm fighting the cold. I ain't feeling the best, bro. So I'm just hitting a t-shirt. I'm literally still in the bed right now.
And you know what, bro? You're still flexing. Yeah.
We've got that picture of him in his suit. We got
a couple suits.
I got some suits now.
Let me tell you something right now. Jay-Z, when I grow up, I want to be a stud like you. All right. I want to have the swag and the drip level that you have. Look at this stud. All right.
Look at that.
Lord have mercy.
Look at that.
Look,
this is probably the best selfie I've ever taken before.
This is the sexy version of Stone Cold Steve Austin right here, man.
Look at the eyebrow.
Little people's eyebrow there. Bojangle eyebrow.
Then he has to make sure by wearing the sunglasses. You can see he's got to make sure he's looking down at the camera just to make sure.
Make sure it's centered. It's got to be centered. You know,
and shades.
And you got the chest out just a little bit.
Little Miami Vice action. Little Miami Vice.
That's right. And I was actually rocking some top sliders that day with no socks. But you can't see that in the picture.
He was ruffling some feathers.
Talking about swag here, I found another one, Jay-Z. Talk to me about this here.
Look at there.
Look at this, man.
This
deserves look at that.
That there.
My God.
That there is the second suit that started the whole trend of the suit wearing things. And now you'll go to wrestling events and you'll see people wearing loud custom suits. That was one of two suits that started the whole ordeal.
So you're the originator of the suit swag, I call it.
Oh, dude, that was like 2018, I believe, when I started rocking those things. It might have been 2017. I think it was 18.
I'm going to show you my personal favorite, Jay-Z.
All right.
It's my personal favorite because I'm a pina colada guy. You know,
I love a little. It's got to be the pineapple one.
I love a good pina colada with a little umbrella in it. You know what I'm saying? On the beach. And I saw this and I wanted a pina colada right away. My God.
That's the original suit. That's the one.
That is.
That's just straight fire.
I'm telling you right now, man. Look at that. Look at that guy, man.
And if you look hard enough, Patrick and SpongeBob are on the camera.
And now you got Seth Rollins on Raw rocking these loud, crazy suits. And I'm telling you, I got enough followers in the WWE that they seen those suits, and I guarantee you they showed Seth or Seth seen them, and now he's got to be rocking them suits too.
Where do you order?
He's just a follower. So the first two, the American flag one and the pineapple one, are called Oppo suits. They're not custom. They're just suits that are they're mass produced. They're relatively inexpensive, but they're just loud suits. My BoJangles suits, I've got 4 BoJangles suits, a StarCast suit, and I think I have one more that was custom made for me. You know, size and fits, and those come from Shinesty.
You got the BoJangles suit. We'll show you that in a little bit, guys. Jay-Z, I want to start out. When did you get into pro wrestling, man? Because we know you're a pro wrestling fan. Absolutely. You got the collection to prove it. But what really got you into it? What era? What organization?
My grandmother. 100% Saturday nights, spending Saturday nights with my grandmother. We would watch, it's roughly 96. We would watch WCW Saturday night. And, you know, this is kind of at the time when Saturday night wasn't the main deal. You know, Nitro was kicking, Raw was kicking. It's not that big of a deal. But I don't know if my grandmother had some hots for some guys or something like that. It was like just scrolling through and saw a guy, some tight trunks. Was like, well, let me watch this for a little bit. But I got hooked. You know, and so I would go to school. I was in the 7th grade. I'd go to in the 7th grade. I would talk to this guy named Bobby Fultron. He was all about wrestling. He said, man, you got to start watching Nitro and Raw. You know, and he was bringing me up to speed on everything that's going on. And that was it, dude. That was it right there. That's all it took. And I was hooked. And
what were you watching with your grandmother? What was it that the faction? Can you remember the faction you were watching?
It was WCW 605 Saturday night. Absolutely. Because my mom would actually get mad at me because me and my grandma would be watching wrestling, and then my granddad would have to go watch. I used to come on the Nashville Network, Grand Ole Opry. He'd have to go watch the Grand Ole Opry on like a 13-inch TV in the kitchen while me and my grandmother watched wrestling.
You love that, right?
He's not going to take grandma's TV.
Yeah, no. So, and you know, we would end up watching the Braves together because they would come on Saturday nights, and then sometimes they would prolong or precede the wrestling, and so then we would roll right from Braves to wrestling, and that was just it. And then I was, you know, at that age, I started collecting wrestling figures, and I loved action figures.
Remember the jacks?
Yes. When you could bend them, and they were supposed to make the sound like they were balls.
The bone crunching, but it was just like a knuckle cracking. Like that's it. But that was the bone crunching, you know.
I could never get it to crunch. Never.
How many people? I mean, that's just a great memory that your grandmother, you guys got into wrestling, or was that was that the first time she was watching it too? So you both,
I wish I knew, man.
right?
It's one of those things, you don't realize. I ain't gonna say it was the good days because every day's a good day, but it
Right.
was one of those days that I wish I could go back and ask her questions about, like,
Absolutely.
why, but hey,
Yeah.
I look at it now and I'm like, I've got, obviously it's affected my life because I'm here on y'all's podcast, but I
Mhm.
mean, my friendships, I've got friends not only in my hometown, not only in my state, but all over America and all over the world because of wrestling.
Yep.
People
Yeah.
I talk to on a daily basis.
Wrestling fans are some of the most hardcore, loyal fans in the world.
Yeah.
And nothing's better than networking with a bunch of guys that love wrestling like you do. Going to those events and meeting people and networking. It's nothing like it. You know what I mean?
Well, let's talk like wrestling belts. So, I'm a belt connoisseur. Love my belts. Dav can tell you that. But dude, I've had a wrestling belt friend who worked for Samsung. Had a problem with my phone. He lived in California. He said, go to this store, this Best Buy, which was in Raleigh. He said, go to this desk, tell this person you need this done to your phone, and you'll pay a fee and it'll be done. So I did exactly like he told me to. They told me they didn't know what the word I was talking about. I called the guy up. I said, hey man, this is what he told me. He said, all right, give me like 10 minutes. So 5 minutes later, they call my name over the loudspeaker. I come back, they fix my phone for free, and I'm at the door. And it's like,
That's called
I'm like,
networking, baby.
hey,
shout out to the friend. Shout out to the friend, man.
He
That's the
kn-
real
he kn-
MVP right there.
he knows who he is, but I don't know if I'm supposed to tell that story, so we're gonna leave his name
We'll
out.
keep it under wraps, man. This is serious business.
Edward in Missouri.
Shout out to Edward.
Perfect.
What's up?
Perfect.
Edward in Missouri. We appreciate it.
What's good, baby?
My boo.
Thank you.
But that's the
Thank
thing that I think I miss a lot is growing up. I'm 45. Growing up, you used to see a different crowd that watched wrestling. It used to be the grandmothers, the grandfathers, the mothers, the fathers that would enjoy wrestling. And for me, it was NWA wrestling. Now you don't see that crowd. It's a totally different crowd. And I kind of miss those days where you'd see, elderly people in the wrestling, crowd.
And,
And you don't see
they're the best fans.
Yep.
Dude,
They really are, man.
the most rowdy too. You don't mess with,
see, that's where I was getting ready to go, because them old women, bro, they will jump up in the middle of it, and the wrestlers love it, dude, because they'll be drawn to it and they use that energy off of them, brother. And I've seen old women swing at wrestlers, and if it was me swinging at them, they gonna pounce on me and throw me out. But they'll just let them old women swing and kiss and do whatever they want to.
Don't screw with grandma.
Yeah.
No,
I'm telling you, man. Don't mess with grandma. All right. Don't mess with grandma. Now, Jay-Z, so I think it was a mixture of knowing that you spent the time with your grandmother, mixing in with the nostalgia of pro wrestling, feeling yourself in that moment, sitting with her, watching it. So pro wrestling to this day, it still takes you back to those moments, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely it does.
Yeah.
And I think that's the reason why belt collecting is a popular hobby among wrestling fans, is because it takes them back to that time.
Right. Yep.
Because it's very few guys out there collect wrestling belts of custom style, or some of them collect current things because they're a dedicated belt collector. But the majority of belt collectors that I see collect belts that were popular when they were either a child or a teenager. And I reckon it's that nostalgic feeling that you get when you sit there and you hold that championship belt that you grew up, and I don't know, if you watch wrestling, you want to be a champion. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah.
So to hold just a piece of that puzzle, the piece of that pie of something you love is just amazing.
And when we were growing up, it wasn't available.
Oh no.
And we've talked on previous shows that it's right when sometimes I'd watch just to see the belt.
Yeah.
Because I wanted just to hold the belt. And then it's when you get the ones that they're using, and it's the exact quality, just about sometimes by the same makers that made the same ones, and you're holding it, it brings you right back to that little kid in the den or wherever you were watching.
Mm-hmm.
That's
and
right.
it's so awesome. It's so awesome.
That's absolutely right.
Speaking of wrestling belts, Jay-Z, I hear you have quite the collection.
I got a few.
Right.
I got a handful.
I hear you have quite the collection, and I hear you have a specific one which we announced you as champion today.
Absolutely, brother.
It looks amazing. Here it is. It's the BoJangles Championship title. Now, one thing you guys can't see about this belt is that this motherfucker spins. This thing spins. You have a spinner.
It absolutely does. Absolutely.
Did you got it with you?
Yeah, I got it right here. If you want me to get up and grab
let's
it.
do it.
Absolutely.
Let's spin it.
It's bow time.
There it is, man. Look at that.
It's
beautiful.
There it is.
Beautiful.
Look at that. Oh,
awesome.
wait a second.
It's Red Croc back.
Yeah,
Wait a second. Is that Red Croc?
It
back
is.
There? Ooh, we got a little stamp. You got your stamp there?
Yeah, that's your second leather strap on there on the belt, right?
Correct.
The first one wore out.
Correct. Well, it broke. The plates broke, as you can see.
Yeah. The bolts there.
The bolt broke.
Okay.
So it's been repaired. That's the third time it's been repaired, and it's broke again.
So you're just as bad as Ultimate Warrior with belts then.
Oh,
right?
dude. So like everywhere I go, I take that with me. If I'm on vacation, it's with me. If I, it pretty much goes with me everywhere but work. So, it travels a lot. It's beat up, but I mean, I love it.
It's an original, man.
It's absolutely is. It absolutely
did the original leather strap have Croc backing, or did you choose that to the second?
No, I chose Red Croc for the second time because I
dripped it up a little bit.
Dude, I'm a huge fan of wrestling belts with colored straps and odd backings. And I figured red was the best way to go. And ring the bell belts, put that Croc skin backing on it. And
look at that.
I wish you could feel it.
Who made the belt?
Belts by Dan.
No, Belts by Dan did that? Did the BoJangles belt?
Yep,
okay.
That's correct.
Right. Shout out to Dan McMahon.
And
big time Dan.
And I had ring the bell belts re-leather it. They offered to do it. I jumped on it.
Oh yeah, because it ain't cheap to get belts re-leathered by good re-leatherers.
And
good ones.
He is very good at what he does, and he's very cheap. He was $150.
What?
Wow. Hey.
Yes, absolutely.
With Croc backing.
With Croc backing.
My
absolutely.
God.
And the tooling work that he did. I mean, I know you probably had to pay for your own stamp, but
nope. He did that for me as a favor.
Look at that, man.
So, hey, man,
shout out
you
to
said.
him.
If you're good to people, people are good back to you, brother.
They'll bless you.
That is amazing. Because I mean, the thing for me is leather's got to be the first thing when I pick up the belt. It's got to be that right type of leather. It's got to be right. It's got to be tooled right. It's got to be seamed right. It's
I feel
for me,
good.
The leather makes the belt. You can have the best. You can have Reggie Park plates, but you put it on, some Pakistan leather, and it's just
it's trash.
It just trashes the belt.
That's absolutely correct.
Speaking of that belt, Jay-Z, how in the hell did this thing happen? So were you in the BoJangles as a kid too?
Here we go.
So my other grandmother loved BoJangles, right?
Okay.
So I grew up eating BoJangles. I mean, every year for Christmas, I would get her gift cards to BoJangles, right? So I'm like, she loves it. I enjoy it. When I was in high school, that was the place we would all go hang out at after school was BoJangles.
That was the spot.
That was
spot,
it,
right?
bro. That was a spot. So that's where we would go. Well,
bow time.
I wasn't into fitness and dieting when I was in high school. So I was I got out of high school. All right, so I was like 200 and something my freshman, sophomore, junior year. Then I got down to like 160 pounds because I hit a growth spurt my senior year. And then I got up to like 260, right?
Ooh.
So I kind of wanted to have a career where my fitness was important. So I was like, all right, got to get in shape, got to lose some weight. So that's what I did. And I got really strict on my diet. Girlfriend, wife at the time, she's like, well, if we're going to do this, we got to have at least a cheat meal every once in a while. So we decided once a week, hey, we're going to do BoJangles. We both love BoJangles. So I would take a belt and I would put it up there with my food that I got, and I would say, hey, BoJangles is the world champion of chicken, or, you can't, if you're going to bang with the best, you got to bang with BoJangles. Just
I like that.
Them over.
I like that. Bang with BoJangles. Pounding the meat. We are banging with the BoJangles.
Bro. I see an agreement coming up, man.
I see it.
The vibes.
I see it. Little pounding the meat and pounding BoJangles.
Pounding the bows, right? Pounding the bows.
Yeah, we're going to have some little chickens, baby chickens.
So we were rocking, and it got to the point where I got a decent Twitter following. I'm not gonna like I'm a huge name, but I got about 6,000 some followers who were,
Hmm.
I ain't gonna say
Yeah,
fiercely
just
loyal, but
They engage.
they engage, and I love it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
they don't have BoJangles where they were at. So they would hit me up like, "Hey, what's BoJangles?" So I would tell them. Well, then when
Mhm.
they would travel by one, they would stop, get some food, tag me in a tweet. Well, it got to be in about the 80 to 100 times a month this was happening.
Wow.
So I was like, "That's what's up." So they hit. This is embarrassing. BoJangles hit me up, and they were like, "Hey, why don't you? You know, you're a really big fan of our food. Why don't you come to our headquarters and
Mhm.
you can make some food and all this other mess?" And I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm good." You know,
oh,
I was like,
oh,
Yo,
I got
BoJangles
to.
was like,
my man
Steven,
turned this
see
shit
ya, get
down,
out of
bro.
here.
I mean, I don't want to say I turned it down, but I was like, I don't kind of understand why y'all want me to come all the way to Charlotte just to make food, you know? I thought it was kind of, I was like, so my wife at the
Wow,
time, I was like, I don't know what the deal is. And she's like, well, why did you turn them down? I was like, I
you
figured
have gone
you
to
wouldn't want to.
another level.
Yeah, I was like,
You've gone now from the chicken. You turned down somebody. You made them
yeah.
work for you.
Oh yeah, I mean,
That's what
you
I'm
got to
talking about.
sometimes. And she was like, "Well, why don't you want to go?" I was like, "Well, that's kind of weird. Do you want to go?" She's like, "Absolutely, I want to go." I was like, "All right." So I'm not weird. 'Cause I thought it was weird that I wanted to go, but it was just I didn't go. So they said, "Well, how about June 28th?" And I was like, "All right, perfect." So I called my boss. I was like, "Hey, look, I need this day off," and he was like, all right, why? And I said,
Oh
I'm
Lord,
going to Bojangles headquarters. And
can you imagine?
he was like, all right. And what's that got to do with anything? Why? And I was like, they invited me. And he was like, well, why did they invite you? And I was like, I don't know. They just said to come tour the headquarters. He was like, well, are you going? I'm like, are you going to let me off? He said, yeah. Are you going to come back? I'm like, yeah. Well, yeah. So we go down. We spend the night in a nice hotel in Charlotte. You know, me and the wife kind of have a date night.
Mhm.
Um, and we get up the next morning, and I packed some Bojangles clothes, and I'd bought well before then because I had T-shirts already. Because they were like, it was like $7 for a Bojangles T-shirt. I'm like, yeah, I mean $7 for a T-shirt. So I bought
I'm
like
in.
5,
Yeah.
and so I wore a T-shirt and I brought my own belt because it's like, how am I gonna show up being a belt collector and not have a belt with me,
Right.
to show off? So I get there and I walk up to the door and the door is locked and I hit the little buzzer and the woman's like, "Are you Jay-Z?" I'm like, "Yes, ma'am." She's like, "Well, come on in, honey." I said, "Okay."
Well, this is some wait a minute. This is some like CIA stuff. You had to be
Oh, dude,
buzzed in to
yeah,
Bojangles.
absolutely, yeah,
They don't play
absolutely.
around.
Like,
They
I
don't
mean,
play
they,
around.
they
Jay-Z's here coming through.
They
so
don't play around, bro.
pretty much. So I walk
Chicken
in
chip.
and the lady at the front desk is like, "Are you, Jay-Z?" I asked my name. I'm like, "Yes, ma'am." So I had to show her my ID. And she's like, all right. And I'm I mean, is there a bunch of Jay-Z impersonators out there that I don't know about? Like
Yeah,
some random
look at his
guys.
ID. Make sure it's him.
Yeah.
That's the one we want.
So anyway, we have a good time. We learn how to make biscuits. We make a batch of biscuits. Then when we get done making the biscuits, they actually have everything to the side that we normally order. Like they knew our
Mhm.
order and everything down to a T and had it
Right.
there ready for us. So we're eating that, and this guy walks in. And I wish I could remember his name. He's part of their advertising team or might be the head of it. He said, "Hey, man, before you leave," and it's like 12 o'clock, and, we got there a little bit before 8. He said, "Before you leave, I got one more thing I want to show you." I said, "All right, let me get done eating." He's like, "No, we need to do it now." And I got like 2 bites of my
Dang,
biscuit left. I'm like,
dang.
"Come on, bro. I'm trying to
They are
enjoy my biscuit,
controlling.
bro."
They are
So
controlling every aspect of your life at this point.
he's like, "Hey, you can come back and finish that." I was like, "All right."
Leave the
So I'm like,
biscuits.
so I get up and go across the hall to a conference room, like a good sized conference room, and all these people are in this conference room, and I'm like, so I'm looking around, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to the back of the thing because I don't want to be a part of this business meeting. I don't want to ruin something. So I mosey onto the back. The guy's like, Jay-Z. I'm like, yeah. He's like, you up front. I'm like, no, I'm good back here, bro. I appreciate it. I don't know what y'all got going on. I don't, you know. He's like, this is about you. I'm like, what?
Uh-oh.
I come on up front. And he's got a podium set up, and he's got on top of this black podium, he's got something sitting on top of it, and it's yellow cloth covering it. So I look at it, and it looks like a belt. But I don't want to get my hopes up because, you know, it's one of those things like,
no way BoJangles
yeah, ain't no way they're
going
going to give me a belt.
What are we talking about?
It's a plaque with a piece of chicken on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, we really appreciate
or
you.
belt made out of cardboard, you're thinking.
Yeah, you know, I don't want to sit here and, because I mean, I'm very appreciative of everything they've done because they've given me like several $100s worth of gift cards, more clothes. Yeah, I mean, they slap loaded me up with stuff. So he's like, yeah, you know, you tweet us like 100 and some times a month, and I'm like, that's nothing to brag. I was like, that makes me feel like I'm a stalker because if you're tagging somebody 100 times a month in a tweet, you know, that's kind of offensive. You know, and I was like, I'm sorry. He's like,
you also come here too much, Bo. And you come here 300 times a month for food, so we're tired of that too.
We're sick of it.
You're putting on your insurance because we know your cholesterol's through the roof. But you know, they're super nice, super supportive, and he was like, but you know, if you're going to be the BoJangles champion, you got to have the BoJangles belt. And I didn't even have time to process. He pulled that cloth up, and I seen my belt.
Bro.
And I was like, is that mine? And he was like, yeah. I was like, that's going home with me? He was like, yeah. I was like, so I can keep that? He's like, yeah, it's yours.
You don't have to bring it back.
Yeah, it's yours. So I freak out, man. I start cutting promos on people in there. I start talking junk about Hardee's. I start talking junk about Colonel Sanders, and the people are dying laughing like, so they pull out their phones and they record. And I cut so many promos that day, and I don't know where they are because it's like random BoJangles employees, corporate employees, are filming me talking trash about Harlan Sanders. So somebody out there has got some preliminary gold of me cutting my first promo that I've never seen. That's probably trash. So they load us all up. Like I said, I got hundreds of dollars worth of gift cards. They sent me home with, I want to say, 36 biscuits. Shirts. Like, I almost got away with stealing a case of honey mustard. They legitimately thought I was just going to go home and put it on a shelf.
Right.
Because they legitimately thought that it was just going to be a display item. And I was like, then y'all don't know me like y'all think y'all know me. So pre-COVID, dude, I started managing wrestlers. I started helping out with wrestling events, and they would send me not gift cards. I want to say like gift certificates, like free gallon of tea, free Bo-Berry biscuit, free French fries, free sausage biscuits. They would just send me. I told them I was doing a wrestling event, and you know, it's probably gonna be 150 people there. They sent me a stack like that tall. It was like 600 and some, just various free food items.
Wow.
For BoJangles.
BoJangles buying people belts and giving away, man. They must be doing pretty good there, BoJangles.
Shout out to BoJangles.
I've got like $3,000 worth of suits that they gave me. Yeah, they're very good to me. Very good to me. And no telling how much. I've got a pillow that looks like a biscuit. I mean, really? So I've got all these suits, and I'll show up to an event wearing a suit that looks like a Cajun filet wrapper, holding this pillow, and the people are more impressed by the biscuit pillow than they are my suit. I'm like,
come on.
Look at my drip.
Look, it's a pillow. Look, I'm the champ. They wanted me to do a promo with the biscuit pillow when they sent me a bunch of stuff. They wanted me to do a promo with the biscuit pillow. Well, they didn't tell me this when they sent it to me. Well, Dav, I think you've met my buddy. I'm that Hoop.
Yeah.
Have you met Hoop? Hoop's a great guy. Hoop and his wife and his kid come up to visit me one time, and it was actually the day before I got all this stuff. So I let Hoop's daughter hold my biscuit pillow, and she did not let it go the whole time she was there. I mean, from Thursday night to Sunday morning, she held on to that thing. I couldn't take that from a child.
Nah.
So I was like,
it's gone?
No, I let her have that one. So they hit me up. BoJangles hit me up, and they were like, hey, we need you to do a promo with the pillow. I'm like,
I give it away.
About that. And I told them, they were like,
Sorry.
"Oh, don't worry about it. We'll send you another one." So they sent me another one with more clothes in the box. I'm all right.
Yeah, don't give this
Yo.
one away to kids anymore there, Jay-Z. Come on.
Shout out to BoJangles, bro.
Oh,
They're dropping a...
Just
Hey,
giving shit
Bojangles,
out.
use this. I don't know why they don't use you in a commercial. I mean, we're both in North Carolina, and it would just be so awesome of a commercial. Instead of random people to see you at the end of it, standing there in your suit with the belt,
Mhm.
I think all in due time, brother. Just because it
Yeah.
ain't happened yet, don't mean it's not gonna happen. You gotta
well,
have
if they think I'm gonna start every day 107 times, I'm gonna say put you in a
Yo,
commercial.
shout out to Jay-Z's positivity, bro. For real.
Yeah,
Look at that.
I'm telling you, it's just that's
Look at
the
that.
whole reason I stumbled on years ago his page, and always positive, never about negativity. Doesn't want it on his page. Doesn't you know?
Well,
He's always been that, and always treats a belt pitch. If you send him a belt picture, he retreats it.
but here's the deal, brother. Here's 100% the deal. Everybody knows that. Me and my wife split last year. I got a new girlfriend, and that was probably one of the hardest times of my life. And I'm gonna tell you straight up, I ain't found anything in this world that can hold me down. It might knock me down, but it don't hold me down. The only thing in life that's going to hold you down is yourself. And when you allow yourself to be held down, it's not, dude, you can beat anything, bro.
Absolutely.
You can beat anything. And, times get tough, but you got to get tough.
Amen. Look at that.
That's the secret, bro.
Look at that. For
That's
real.
the
Like,
secret.
no, I mean, especially this past year with everybody hitting some hard times. It was a struggle for everyone, man.
That's right.
It was bad, you know?
That's right.
And we survived.
Absolutely.
We made it.
I've seen guys that are like have McDonald's belts, Pizza Hut belts, whatever, but none of them that I know of were given to them. I mean, you were the BoJangles champion. It's no lie. It's no fluff. This guy is undefeated. Nobody has put his back to the mat. I know he's got what was that? He's got to work on their
flatbacks.
And as we know, Jay-Z Flair is obsessed with the NWA because he feels like if I post enough pictures of these belts, eventually my phone's going to ring. Mm-hmm. And that hasn't happened yet. But if Jay-Z starts to learn how to take flatbacks, it's going to be Aldis and Camille against Jay-Z in some sort of internet pay-per-view coming your way soon.
Well, the thing it is, bookers and promoters can rest assured that it won't cost much to get Jay-Z in the ring. Just some BoJangles biscuits and chicken.
Let me just say something here, Conrad. Listen. We know that was a struggle for Jay-Z, but I was talking to Jay-Z and he said, he's been working on it, and be ready. Right. There's nothing he can't overcome. Flatbacks is one of them.
That's right. So, absolutely, brother.
Absolutely.
And I don't lay down for anybody. I don't do no jobs for anybody.
Because you've done some stuff for a couple of promotions that are here locally. That's right. Gouge is one of them. Tell us about that and how you got involved in that, and their champion now, Seymour Snot, great guy. Follow him on Twitter.
Okay.
And
GOUGE Pro Wrestling.
And one of the most beautiful belts that you will ever see, and hopefully he'll show it to us here in a little bit too. But they've got a phenomenal looking title belt.
So GOUGE actually stands for Gimmicks Only Underground Grappling Entertainment.
Nice.
That's what GOUGE stands for. And it is, I don't want to say it's gimmick heavy is what it is. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. If you ain't got a heavy gimmick, and I mean Seymour Snot, who is a nerd. You got Jimmy Jack Funk Jr., who is your tail kicking cowboy. Timmy Lou Retton, who was their previous champion, who was a male gymnastics person. You got the ping pong champion, Waylon Mays. They used to have a guy named Juan Jeremy, who was the Latino Ron Jeremy, who wore the tightest shorts I've ever seen before on a man. And he would, I think he stuffed the crotch.
Quarters in there.
Juan Jeremy,
no,
bro.
Not quarters, dude. I'm telling you, it seriously looked like he was smuggling, half-gallon bottles of rum. But and I say all that, but you go to a GOUGE show, they're going to wait for you after the show. They're going to want to meet all their fans. They're going to be in the crowd after their matches. They are very fan friendly, phenomenal brand. But the reason I got hooked up with them was because of Topper Belts made their belt.
Nice.
And I
Great
was at
belt
Wrestle.
company.
Absolutely. The first WrestleCade I went to, I got the whole Gouge belt. They Gouge loaned it to them to put on display for the show. So
Right.
I'm holding their belt, and I was like, dude, this is a beautiful belt. I love this. I was like, but what is Gouge? That's when they told me about who Gouge was and introduced me to Seymour Snot. So, I started being a fan of Seymour, and I started going to shows, and I was like, oh, I love this. I absolutely love this. It's
Super
great.
over the top gimmicks and the creativity, you know?
That's right. And you never know what you're going to see.
Right.
You never have a clue because, like I said, they're gimmick heavy. Seymour comes out with cans of silly string and sprays the whole crowd every time. And sometimes he'll sneak out and you don't know what's coming, but he'll pull it out of his pocket and he sprays the whole crowd. And now we throw streamer parties for him every time, and we throw streamers back at him when he starts spraying us. I mean, it's fan friendly. It's great. It's a good time.
How often do they put on shows, Jay-Z? How often?
They're very sporadic. So if you I quit drinking last year when I got saved. So they do breweries. So before COVID, I was all about. I was like, hey, yeah. Prior to COVID, they would always go to these breweries like twice a month. So you would go to a brewery, watch wrestling, and their shows are free. They don't charge admission to they don't charge admission to the show, bro.
Wow.
They don't at all. So it's a free wrestling show at a brewery. So you can spend all your money on beer, not the tickets. So I was like, that's what's up right there.
Yo, that's genius marketing, honestly.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So, they do a show like prior to COVID, they were doing 2 every month. So I go to watch some wrestling, drink some beer. Well, I mean, what's better?
Shout out to GOUGE Pro Wrestling, man. Shout out to GOUGE.
Can you show us that belt?
Yeah.
Let's go.
I can grab it real quick.
All right, here we are. This is the GOUGE.
God, I love this belt.
Heavyweight Championship, right? Let me give you full screen here, Jay-Z.
This is the ring used one right here.
Look at that.
I want that belt so bad.
And it's got the stack plates on it.
That's the official one, right?
Yeah.
Till, have you see the North Carolina in there, Vinny?
Yeah,
Take a look at the little video that's got their year of inception down at the bottom.
And y'all forgive me, it's like I've never used a camera before.
Nah, you're good, bro.
And then the layering of the wrestling and then the champion.
Yep.
The beautiful way the eagle is, the crown on it's just
that's beautiful.
That stack right there. That's what's up.
You talking about a belt that's designed perfectly. That's it right there.
Yeah. I mean, this is a top league belt right here.
That's clean, man.
Yeah,
and I've got it.
Mail that my way. Oh,
look at that.
It's signed by several of the champions. And
wow.
I'm not a huge guy for championships being signed. The only reason I did this one is because I'm such a huge fan of Gouge.
It's special to you. Yeah.
Well, I never plan on selling this belt. Never plan on.
Damn.
You hear that, Dev? Never plans on it.
I say never, but it really depends. Money talks and bullcrap walks. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Listen, you better get the pocketbook out. Dev.
So this is a.
Oh man, look at that! Look at that, bro! Look at that!
It's bow time.
Look at that, man!
That's that dome globe. And so this one right here is actually made like the original dome globe that Flair and Harley Race had. As you can see, it's not flat.
Nope.
At all. It's I believe it's 77, might be 87 separate pieces that are bolted onto a plate, as you can see.
God, look at that.
Wow.
Look at the lace work on it that they've done too.
Now this
That's
is
beautiful.
This is the 4th one I've had because people keep buying them and I keep selling them. I'm not going to sell this one. Well, I say that.
We'll see, right?
But I mean, that's
money talks, bullshit walks. Remember? Look at one.
So that's like it's a $3,500 belt, and I've ended up selling them for more than that because people want them without the weight. But it's like, I'm tired of not being without a belt, but now, I mean, they want to pay for it, they can. This is the NWA TV title.
Woo-wee. Now, this is one of the most popular belts in the community, right? This title right here.
This is the third one I've had. I had one previous to this that somebody went worse than I did that I got rid of, and I had a red
I
one.
don't know what was that.
Me
Lucky
neither.
guy. Lucky guy.
Lucky guy.
Lucky guy.
Lucky guy. He's probably gonna try to buy that one too.
He was good. Was he good looking?
Yeah.
No, don't push.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. I'll lie, but not to an extent, bro.
This one looks familiar here. Is it
Beautiful belt.
No, where is
Nope.
it? Where is it? Is it
Nope.
this one?
There it is.
There it is. Look at it. It looks familiar.
But y'all don't know who. Do y'all know who held this belt?
Who held it?
Nah, it's a local indie belt. That Top Rope made.
It's AWC, right?
No. No. So it was the Arab World Championship or something, or Arab Heavyweight Championship. That's what's under. So this part here is a relief piece on this American plate. That's not the original plate.
Ah, okay.
So you see the pyramid at the top. Underneath this, I believe.
Oh, look at the pyramid up there.
Yeah, I believe underneath this says Arab. I think that's what it says. Or Arabic. I can't remember, but there's a picture of it online on Top Rope Belt's website. Cedric Alexander held this championship.
Oh wow, look at that.
When he was local here in North Carolina.
Ooh, here we go. What do we got? Okay.
There's the hardcore.
This is actually one of the few. I know y'all probably seen replica hardcore championship belts made by WWE. This is actually a real belt that's been smashed up, duct taped up. This is made by Leather Rebels. It's now defunct and closed, but it's a hardcore championship belt. It's their style of hardcore, like Mick Foley had. It's beautiful.
Right.
Yeah, Leather Rebels did some of the most amazing work.
Oh, God. Boy. Here we go.
That there is a cast of the Crumb Line. Obviously, if you don't know what this belt is, you really need to.
You don't need to be in wrestling.
You're not a wrestling fan, yeah.
You're definitely not.
My goodness.
God, it looks so good.
They talk about Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair being 1A and 1B. I would say this belt and probably the WWF Winged Eagle is 1A and 1B of championship belts.
I agree, man. 100%.
This right here is my favorite belt of all time. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Oh, really?
Not the belt that got me into collecting, but it is definitely my favorite belt you can see.
Unbelievable.
She's a beauty of a belt.
That's beautiful.
What belt got you into collecting then?
The WWF Big Eagle.
That's the block logo version right there.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Yep.
Now that's some pure plating there. You see that reflection? How that reflection is going off of there? No waves.
Came about on the got the brown
croc, right?
Brown croc buckle.
I want to show this to some makers out there. Look at the back plate. Do you see how many studs are on there?
Bro, that thing ain't going nowhere, bro.
Ain't that the truth? That thing is solid, dude. And this is probably one of the heaviest belts I have. But this is the belt that got me into collecting belts. The Raw after WrestleMania 14.
That's correct.
How long have you had that belt?
2013.
Wow.
I've had this thing for like 8 years.
And it looks gorgeous.
It looks like it came in yesterday. And you can see, like I am telling you, Vinny, over time, when you get these belts, the leather, some of them are so floppy they can't hold up the belts. You want a stiffer leather that over time softens.
That's right.
and gets that floppy.
Right.
Yep. And this is a custom that was made by Top Rope Belts.
Look at the coloring on that, the detail.
It is the Angels Championship.
Okay.
Look at the work on that main plate. That is just crazy.
And see, the bad thing is what y'all can't see is that these Swarovski crystals in here are multicolored. They change colors at whatever angle you look at them at. And
wow.
This belt just doesn't get any justice for what it is.
I want it just look at that.
Yeah, I can see them change colors. Look at that.
And
that's crazy.
White croc back.
White croc. And that one's by
this is Top Rope Belts.
Yep.
That's clean,
just
man.
Gorgeous. And this belt you're telling us today is available.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. I've got this and a replica winged eagle on teal stamped by Dave Milliken.
If you guys want to hit up Mr. Jay-Z, links are in the description. You can go to his social media pages, his Twitter and his Instagram, and you can contact him through there, make a deal, make sure you get your pocketbook open and shell it out, but he'll take care of you.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
he's a good man to deal with.
Dav will tell you straight up, I take care of my stuff, brother.
That's it.
Oh,
bro. I mean,
immaculate. I mean, he takes.
look at that big eagle. 13. What did you say? 13 years old?
No, I've had it since 2013.
Since 2013. Look at it. It looks pristine.
Yeah, it's
He
amazing.
takes care of it, man.
It's
So
amazing.
just hit him up, and the stuff will be on the screen.
Absolutely.
One more thing I wanted to talk about with you, Jay-Z, was this gentleman here. You're in the photo with. Okay. This gentleman. This guy here. Look. First of all, can we admire the suit there?
It's bow time.
Look at that suit. All right, that thing spares no expense, none whatsoever. I mean, the suit's better than Mr. Nick Aldis's suit.
Don't push it now, bro.
I'm not capping. All right. So I hear this story, this thing where you were blocked on Twitter.
Oh, absolutely.
What the hell happened, Jay-Z? What? And then all of a sudden you're taking photos with him.
So, all right. So I'm about to throw somebody under the bus, and he's going to text me just as soon as he hears this. But old Pondwater Dave, Super Dave, dude, the guy that got me into belt collecting. Let's start there. When I was 13, 14 years old, my family got the internet, and I was all about them wrestling belts, as you can tell. And I stumble across a picture of this man, this grown man. You know, like I said, I'm 14, 15. This man is in his 40s. And I see him. Now, I say that Super Dave was probably in his 30s, maybe. Yeah, he might have been 50. Anyway, it's 25 years ago. So I see this man, and he's laid out like on a crucifix with his arms stretched out, and he's covered in championship belts. And I'm like, that dude is my hero. I got to have that many belts. And so, 14-year-old me was like idolizing Dave Miller. And so eventually I stumbled upon a website that Dave was a member of, and he comments one day, and I'm like, holy crap, are you that guy? And he was like, yeah. I was like, oh, I can't believe I get to meet you. And he was like, all right, I'm just a guy. And I'm like, you're my idol. So, all right, for my honeymoon, me and my wife.
Oh my God!
I know, dude. This is why this story is so good. So me and my ex-wife go on our honeymoon. We come back from somewhere. I forgot where we went.
Not to be R-rated show here.
So we went to a wrestling convention at the end of our honeymoon, right?
Yeah.
And I get to meet Dave. So I'm coming up the escalator, and I see Dave walk by, and I am literally starstruck. Like, I'm stuttering. I don't know what to say. I'm scared. And he just comes over and gives me a big old hug. And me and Dave have been friends ever since. This is 2004. Awesome. This is 2014. I met Dave online in like 2012. So, I mean, we talk every day now.
Yeah.
So Super Dave is a really big fan of Tim Storm. Tim Storm is a great wrestler. He was a great NWA's World Heavyweight Champion. And I see he's getting ready to wrestle Nick Aldis. And all I could think about was Magnus. Right? Who cares about Magnus? Who cares about, Nick Aldis? Nobody. So all I said was I would rather pay $50 to watch Tim Storm wrestle than get paid. I'd rather pay $50 to watch Tim Storm wrestle than get paid $100 to watch Nick Aldis. Block. And that did it. That did it. So I start watching the NWA.
It's a little fragile, isn't it? Little fragile.
Just a little. So I started watching the NWA because I wanted to watch Nick Aldis get his teeth knocked down his throat. So I started watching Nick Aldis, and I'm like, oh crap, this dude I really like this guy. I'm really enjoying what he's doing. And so here I am blocked. blocked like the day is long, and obviously I can't get through to him. And so I started doing a podcast, and Dave Lagana come on, and I was trash Nick Aldis on that episode, so that probably didn't make anything any better.
God.
You double down on stupidity, bro.
And taking notes on you, probably.
That's right. So, eventually, word got back to him that I was a big fan of his. I don't know how it got back to him, but it got back to him, and he unblocked me, right? So I started doing like I did with BoJangles, and I just started tagging him and stuff. And went to WrestleCade, met him at that WrestleCade right there, and I walked up to him and I said, "Dude, I used to hate your guts. I thought you were the worst thing to ever happen to wrestling. And I swear to God, I was 100% wrong, and you are the freaking man." And he looked at me, and then he looked at Tom Latimer, and he looked back at me. He said, "I have never had such a backhanded compliment before in my life." I'm like,
I'm the BoJangles champion. You can't do that to me.
I mean, you see what I was wearing, right? It's obviously I'm not a threat.
He's bigger than after that picture you took. I didn't realize how big this guy is. He's a broad guy.
And that was the same. Like I'm not big. I'm a good sized guy, right? I'm about 215 pounds. I'm not huge, but I'm very. I feel like I'm stout. I can take care of myself. I've been in some fights. I can take care of myself. I looked at him and I was like, "Oh crap, this dude's a whole lot bigger than I thought." And so he come over to me and he took a picture. Didn't even charge me for the picture, bro.
Oh, wow.
He was like, he knew who I was. As soon as I walked up, he knew who I was, and he's like, "I appreciate you, putting me over. I appreciate you, seeing the light about me and everything." I said, "No, dude, you're awesome. Yeah, I shouldn't have doubted you, but yeah, man, you're absolutely the man." So
that's the thing with some of these wrestlers today is stop. If somebody's after you, that's your job. Either you're the heel or wrestler, whether they like you or not, or if you're a babyface or whatever.
Well, nowadays, Dev, I mean, they are sensitive. They're fragile. They really are.
This is your job to do that. But what about Nick Aldis is I put him up there in my top 5 NWA champions of all time. He is legitimately a great champion. And
that's right. In my opinion, pre-COVID, NWA was on a steamroll, bro.
Oh, it was. It was
on a steamroll, and I hated it for him. The last time I was that excited about wrestling was in 1998 when the Attitude Era was on a roll.
Wow!
Every Tuesday at 6:05, I was going to be in front of it. I was going to be in front of an iPhone or an iPad TV, something, so I could see NWA Power. No ifs, ands, and buts about it.
Wow.
I'd really wish that the NWA would bring back Jim Cornette. I really wish they'd bring him back. I enjoyed him. I mean, one of the least racist people, for him to be accused of that after what that guy has done for minorities in wrestling is atrocious to say.
Yeah, Jim Cornette definitely does not hold back for anybody
at
all. But I don't think,
especially in today's wrestling, the gymnastic stuff, he lights it up.
Oh yeah, I hate it for him, and I hated it for the NWA. But it's I miss what it was, and I know it's slowly going to come back. But I cannot wait for Nick to come back and knock Trevor Murdoch's stomach to the ground. They positioned Nick in such a good spot to where there was really nobody that was really a solid contender for him, but he still put on great matches.
And him matched with what's her Camila?
Yep. Camille.
Great.
Absolutely.
And I was really hoping that they would put all this into a 4 horseman type deal. I would have thought that'd have been great. And how much for me, I was praying in the back that I for him to be that, and then maybe you'd see like Blanchard come back or Flair to come back with them to be a managers of them or something. But we can all dream.
Strictly Business was off the chain, brother.
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was.
Strictly Business. Shout out to Strictly Business, man. Shout out to them. Now, I will say this. All right, guys? I will say this. Once again, if y'all want to reach out to Mr. Jay-Z, you saw a few titles he's got for sale. All right. And he ain't playing games. Those are some nice belts. Check him out on on Twitter and on Instagram. One more question for you, Jay-Z. Are you still doing the podcasting? Are you going to get back into the game? What's the status on that?
Dude, I really, and Dad, I tell you, man, I really don't have the time for it. I don't have a dedicated work schedule, and it's hard for me to sit back and say, hey, I'm going to do this day, this time.
And dedicate to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you know, y'all.
A lot of work.
It is.
It's a lot of work, man.
It ain't as easy as just sitting up a phone and pressing record. No, you got to do
it. Is not.
Yeah, me coming on and learning what Vinny does to production-wise, to prep-wise, to sound-wise, it's just great.
Even after this, there's a lot of work to do.
But your show was great. The Jay-Z Flair show, they can look it up on Twitter. They're still, the episodes are still there. Yeah.
That was all Paul Bromwell. That was all Paul. Paul was an absolute
incredible guy,
force.
too. I like watching him.
Shout out to Paul Bromwell.
And now he's on ad-free shows.
Yeah.
He's burning it up. He is burning it up.
Shout out to Paul on ad-free, man.
Extremely talented.
Yes, absolutely.
Even if he's the ding or the dong, he's extremely talented.
Ding or dong, it don't matter. But Jay-Z, thank you so much.
Oh, no, thank y'all.
For joining and for pounding the meat with us. All right.